Hi, everybody. You are listening to Marketing Evolved. I am Deidre.
And I am Jason.
And I am Holly Peterson.
And we're going to talk about all things marketing. So you are in for a treat. We're going to talk about everything that relates to our industry as well as our own personal opinions and how, we'll have our clients on as well as our three big personalities.
Sure.
And so we're going to start with stories of the week. Jason, what's your story of the week?
Okay, so countdown.
You have 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Start the timer.
Start. Okay. So for all of those that have not been living under a rock, Facebook has been around for, imagine this, 15 years, which is a long time. So as Deidre will explain, she's basically had Facebook around her whole life. For us, again, Holly and I experience it more as kind of the extension of the internet. So the big question is obviously kind of what's our thoughts on Facebook's impact, in general, in terms of maybe the pros and the cons, as well as more importantly for the business listeners, what role does that play? So there you go. Facebook turning 15. What do you guys think?
Deidre?
Well, you said it. It's been around my whole life. I think it's a necessary evil. We all love to hate it. We all love getting on there, seeing what grandkids are doing or what, everyone else is doing. So I love that sharing aspect. And from a business perspective, you got to be on there. You got to establish your brand. You got to just keep it consistent is what we preach to our clients. But unfortunately, though, people love to chit-chat on the internet. So it's kind of a, like, you just kind of take it as it is. But I love hate it. I love hate it.
I love hate it too, I would have to say. It's great to keep in touch with people I don't normally keep in touch with, not because I don't want to, it's just because lives have kind of drawn us apart for various reasons. So it is great to still be part of, people's lives in that respect. Do I like the political aspect of it and some of that stuff? Not so much. That's been a big disappointment. So I do social media all day long for clients, as does Deidre. So generally speaking, when I get home, that's pretty much the last thing I do. So from a business perspective, I would say the biggest thing that people need to keep in mind when they're using it, and we tell our clients this all the time, is just make sure that whatever you're putting out there is going to draw someone in. You're not going to draw every single person in, but you want to hit them at the right time in the right way. With a fluffy, nice message. Many times it has to be attractive. Don't throw anything out there without a picture. That's just a fail.
Agreed.
All right. Holly, what's your story of the week?
My story of the week, I'm focusing on Valentine's, okay? And I'm just going to say right now is Valentine's... Oh, you just shut me down.
No, we started.
Oh, sorry.
So
just
go
kidding.
ahead. 2
So,
months.
okay. So first question is, and we won't answer this. I'm just going to throw it out there. Is Valentine's a legitimate holiday? I would say not so much. It's not something that compels me personally. But in that vein, you would be amazed about how many people spend money. So 53% spend money on Valentine's Day. And can anybody guess what the average is that they spend?
I'd say close to $25.
50.
$221 is
Deep
the average.
Pockets.
Jason,
Yes.
you better step
I'm not doing
up.
so good. I better step it
With
up.
men leading
Wow.
the charge in that higher price bracket.
What do women spend?
They're closer to like the $95 range. Yeah,
So
right.
we get the short end of the
But
stick on this
but
one.
maybe it's because they're more consistent throughout the year as opposed to
Yeah.
men like, ooh,
They
I
gotta
better
make
catch up.
Yeah, they're in the doghouse. They
Okay.
gotta do something.
So maybe it's something along those lines. But as far as the marketing take on this, and something to think about, is how, and does it even apply to you, are you marketing for Valentine's Day?
Okay, so you have officially 40 seconds left, so we should do our opinion, our take?
Yep.
Okay, so let me reset you here. So, Deidre, you have how much time?
We have 3 minutes to discuss.
Okay, all right, so go team. Talk. What do you think?
I love to hate Valentine's Day. I mean, like, I don't know. When I was single, I absolutely despise it. And now I'm in a relationship. It's like this pressure. Kevin loves me 365 days a year. So why does one day matter? But I would love chocolates. Or they didn't make candy hearts this year. That, from a marketing perspective.
Whoa.
Yeah, no more conversation hearts. You can though get conversation donuts from Krispy Kreme.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why they cut that out?
No, the company bank. So there's no more of those, or the Spree thing, like the Spree disc, the chalky disc, those candies.
Oh yeah. Oh, the Smarties.
Yeah,
Oh,
those
Smarties.
Two, yeah, the all of them. They've all Nabisco.
Really?
Nabisco's a company.
Yeah, Nabisco.
They're closed down. No more conversation hearts.
Well, from a
Interesting.
nutritional standpoint,
Probably
it
good,
literally
'cause
was
it's
just sugar
pure
and crap.
sugar.
But so I'm just from a marketing perspective, I am disappointed in the conversation hearts no longer
I
being
am
a
too.
Well,
conversation.
graphically, they
'Cause that's, like,
were like
part of the-
Valentine's Day, like.
Culture.
Yeah, that's like the culture of it.
That's why Krispy
Somebody's got to
Kreme
pick that up.
is gonna do conversation donuts.
Well, we'll
Wow.
see.
Okay. Good job.
Jason,
okay, so
your
my
thoughts?
take, very quickly. I think this is a Hallmark manufactured holiday. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if there was a good history to Valentine's Day. I think it's a good thing. I mean, I think there's nothing wrong with it. I would agree with Holly though that, I guess from a marketing perspective, there's no deny that this is part of our culture and people, engage in it. In terms of how our brands use it, I think, like you've mentioned earlier, it's all about content that is actually engaging. So, when we're talking about social media, you got to make sure there's something interesting. So clearly holidays are like low-hanging fruit. So I think if it's thought through correctly, there's some cool things, interesting, maybe fun, whimsical ways you can use Valentine's in the context of marketing. But me personally, I'm like you. It's like, take it or leave it. It's all right. But it's not a big deal.
Okay.
Done.
Woohoo! All right, my story of the week. I'm the only one in the office that apparently watched Super Bowl, and so
College football, please.
I think being in this industry, though, I watch the Super Bowl ads a lot differently than most, and so on our Facebook page, GenR8 Marketing, I shared the USA Today ad meter, and it ranked all of the commercials. So their top 3 were the NFL 100 Years, which I encourage all of you to watch, Amazon Alexa, and Microsoft. Those were all their top 3. But my personal favorites were not even those. I loved, this one was by Walmart, and they were promoting their new Drive Up thing, and they had all famous cars, and they had that favorite song, like, dun, dun, dun,
Yes,
dun, dun.
my kids love it.
That commercial.
And they like the way Bumblebee walks away with a little Walmart bag.
Yeah, so that was my top one. And then the Amazon Alexa was really good. It had Harrison Ford in it. And it was the approach of, like, everything from Alexa didn't get passed. And so it was like a dog wearing a collar that was like an Alexa collar. And so the dog would bark. And they'd be like, adding biscuits to the shopping cart. And then Harrison Ford was like, I'm not paying for that. And then, like, at the very end, you see,
That's nice.
like, an unloading of dog treats. And then my final one is I love the Budweiser commercial. They promoted their powering beer with wind power. And they had the Clydesdales, which I think the Clydesdales are an American staple.
Yes.
Agreed.
Then my honorable mention is Bud Light has consistently, we preach consistency to our clients. They've consistently done well with the Dilly Dilly and kind of that whole throwback. But then they did a spin where they showed a tease for the final Game of Thrones. So hashtag for the throne. So it was like 2 worlds colliding. And I absolutely loved it. So, I mean, you guys didn't watch any of it, but I think that it's something I look forward to. And from a marketing perspective, those really do set the tone, I think, for the next year. Whether it's commercials or advertising, what's funny, what's not funny, what's in, what's out. You guys agree, disagree?
But 36 cents on every dollar is influenced by digital. So, I mean, we talk about the millions and millions of dollars that these, brands spend on advertising during the Super Bowl, which obviously gets a lot of people watching. So it's like, you can see why, they take that plunge and they spend the money and they bring in the big names and stuff like that. So, makes sense. Did I watch it? No.
Yeah, I mean, I was like you, Deidre. I used to always watch the Super Bowl for the commercials. I think for me, maybe I don't as much, and this is with no disrespect for people in the television industry, but the obnoxious amounts of money that's spent, we're like fiscally conservative for our clients. I'm just like sickened by how much money is spent on an ad that if you were to redistribute that in other places, I bet you could get 10 times the return. But no doubt, the fun stuff is cool. I enjoy it. and maybe this was a good year. It just seems like some of the cleverness, it's not as good as it used to be. It used to be like that was the thing you watched, was for the ads. So, but again, you're keeping us aware of the trends because, I'm sorry. Maybe if the Chiefs would have made it, I would have watched it. But, just the Patriots and the Rams, even with Burkhead and Sue, not really interesting.
He was cut
I'm
off.
just kidding.
That's
I'm just
fine.
kidding. I'm just giving you a hard time. It was really boring. So I do agree. But, hey.
So we're doing good. We're like 10 minutes and 40 seconds total.
Sweet. So now we're going to move on to so we notice in our industry every single day. I am the office millennial, and you guys are Gen.
I'm Gen X.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're in the middle.
But
we're in the middle of millennial and Gen X. We're in this weird little 3 to 4 transition year thing.
But then we deal with a lot of clients that are baby boomers, and even now the Gen Z is that what they call them? Younger than me.
Yes.
Yeah. So we deal with all of it. So I thought it'd be fun. I'm gonna pose a question that will hopefully get into our generations, give us a conversation. So my question for you guys today: what's your favorite quote?
Oh, I got one.
Okay. Well, if you have one, you go for it.
Two.
You can Google it. If you need
So I liked Bazooka Joe gum when I was a kid, and they'd have little stupid comics. I remember one of them said, "Never underestimate the power of positive thinking." And my second one, this is going to show my age, from Back to the Future, which I'm sure this is being used in many other places, but I think Doc would say, if you put your mind to it, you could accomplish anything.
Do you want to know a fun fact?
Sure.
I've never seen Back to the Future.
I know. We talked.
For the love of DeLorean was in one of the commercials you were talking
my
about in the
gosh.
Super Bowl.
That's now. In our defense, I think Caitlin upstairs is like 17 and has seen Back to the Future, so she's our pop culture whiz.
Yeah, we need to bring
even
Caitlin
younger.
on.
Yeah, because she's like, again, it's that even younger than you and us, Deidre. That like, I don't know, maybe it's like retro cool now to look at the stuff that we did. I have no idea.
Holly, what's your favorite quote?
Jason's gonna love this, and I'm gonna drop this in as our first official podcast contest. Okay? So if anyone gets this right, I mean, we'll pick obviously from the winners, but we'll draw someone for a $20 Amazon gift card. My quote is, "Release the Kraken."
Oh my gosh. Well,
so when we put this podcast up on social, those people who can guess, you will be entered into a drawing for a $25 gift card to be announced.
And I think we should sweeten the deal that there's also like Holly's known for her random quotes that nobody quotes.
Random movie quotes,
so like there's
specifically.
one. So we may need to give a $20 just for this. If you can guess the quote that says, "Put that in your book." Okay.
I am not.
Okay.
God.
This is an inside joke, but I'm serious. I will also put in a $20 gift card for anybody that can guess who and what movie, who said it and what movie says, "Put that in your book."
Okay. Well,
Thank you.
My I'll do. You guys did too. My favorite quote is, one of them is from Dr. Seuss. "A person's a person, no matter how small." I love Dr. Seuss.
Love that one.
Yeah, and then, I mean, I also loved Beauty and the Beast, so it was beauty that killed the beast, or whatever. Isn't that the quote? I think so.
Nice.
I don't know.
Nice.
That is about as crazy as I get.
So nothing super profound coming from your GenR8 marketing team, folks.
Yeah, pretty lame. No Bible verses quoted here or quoted here.
Or there's like a Julia Roberts movie, "Eat, Pray, Love." That is my motto. Okay.
Ooh, we got a snort in there.
Yeah.
Okay, we got another one here.
Well, I cannot. Well, yeah, we got nothing. We got no big story. So let's see.
Pick another number. Did I say 10?
Okay.
Just pick one.
Well, we were talking about this earlier, but I kind of asked Holly this, but what is so you guys are married, if people don't know this, and you have 2 lovely children, Trevor and Lydia.
Yes.
What's the funniest thing you can remember that one of your children said or did?
Oh, this is one I like to quote just because it was so funny and it was so specific. But our family has a set of dinner questions, basically. So it's like this Melissa and Doug set of questions. And so if we're feeling like things are a little dry after we've done highs and lows or anything like that, well, break out the box of questions. And so one of the questions was, if you could do anything you wanted to, no limitations, and you had an entire day to yourself, what would you do? And Trevor at the time was about 4. And he specifically said, I'd wake up, I would drive a car, I would pet a pig, and then I would sleep and spend the night in the car. We were just like, wow, okay. That is a goodie. So we wrote that down in the little accompanying journal that we had for these profound answers coming from our children. So like that is one I will never forget.
Yeah, that's excellent. I know I'm the video capture guy, so I record them all the time. I know there's been hilarious things. Not one comes to mind, but yeah, we'll just leave it with that. Petting a pig. Staying the night in the car. Good stuff. Kind of scary.
I can just envision him too, like at 4 doing all of those things, and it just makes it even more hilarious.
Gosh.
If you know our son, that's definitely
yeah.
Trevor.
Yeah.
Well, I'll pose it, and I'll do the flip side. What's the funniest thing that I can remember one of my parents said or did? My parents are gonna listen to this and be like, "Oh God."
What's next?
Yeah, no. No, my parents are great people. I just always think of when we went to Italy together. I think, like, as you guys know, like, traveling as a family, I think it brings you secretly closer. And so traveling abroad with my family was just kind of a whole nother world. And I remember my dad, like, the week before was studying how to drive in Italy. And then we, like, get there. And it just hit him all of a sudden. It was like, we're trying to go through these roundabouts, like go through the countryside. Oh, bless his heart. So it was just, I think when you travel with, so I have very fond memories of that. And it can't believe it's been 3 years since I've been to Italy, but.
Wow.
I know.
Nice.
I know, right? It's a plug for me to go back. Just kidding.
So maybe we finish up with one question from our audience.
Oh, yeah.
Today we got a question from Luna. She had submitted a question to us.
Luna, what's the question? Okay.
I'm just following along here.
Yeah. Okay, Luna, what?
Continue.
What did Luna have to write in?
Does it really matter if you do email marketing?
Ooh.
That's a good one.
Luna was really looking into her sphere.
She didn't really want to spend too much money on it. So
She just kind of flicked her wrist. There it was.
she just wanted to make sure that she was making the right choice. So
Okay, email marketing.
email marketing.
Jason,
That's the question.
Okay, so here's my take on this, and this is what I tell people. I hate email more than anything in the world. As you know, if you want to get a hold
We're
of
off
me...
to a good start.
Okay, so just hear me out here. So, like, I tell people you need to, like, text me. Now, as we all know that the role of email marketing, if you're doing it from a salesy perspective, is terrible. It's just a total worthless. But if you're using it to use kind of a social media spin where it's more like engaging, you're more communicating with people that know you or know of you, clients, friends, family, I don't care who it is, and the content is interesting, helpful, people open them a lot. So I would even say for us, the reason we do email marketing is not because we necessarily ourselves may digest it. It's that it is proven in the results that our clients time and time again get good, solid traction out of emails that are sent out and such.
Yep. Deidre, your take on it?
Yeah, well, the way you started that question made me think of the Price is Right Mountain Man. And then you just like, but anyways, so I like email. I'm probably one of the oddballs that do, but I really have to, like, invest my time opening my emails. So just put I would say to a client, like, put your effort into it. Like, give us good quality content. Like, what is going around the office, highlights, it's kind of meant to be a highlight reel of that month.
But concise, yeah.
Yeah, a concise one.
I like that.
Yeah, highlight reel of the month. Because, that's ultimately, at the end of the day, Grandma's going to share it, Aunt Joe down the street's going to share it, because they want to see the highlights of what's going on. So I would say that is, like, give us content that's short, concise, but a highlight, something you want to share.
My 2 things are, if you're going to do email marketing, number 1, again, make it concise, but at the same time, realize that when you're targeting and you're sending out that email, whether you have 5,000 people that you're sending it to or whether you had 500 people that you're sending it to, just remember that you're not trying to get every single one of those people to not only open it, but to share it or engage in some way. You're hoping that a small percentage will respond back to you and you're going to hit them in the right moment. So don't overthink it. Make it concise. That's what I would say.
Like it.
If you're going to do sales, give them a reason to open it. There's got to be a coupon. There's got to be an incentive. A little bit of sales is okay, but not too heavy on it.
And an effective, words blanking on me.
Call to action?
Yeah, like an effect, the email,
Tagline?
the subject
line.
The subject line has got to be, got to kind of tell you what it is.
It's tough.
And
yeah.
I know it is, especially like now people add emojis. I feel like when I get my emails,
we
it's
don't
like,
have enough emojis.
I
right?
just feel like it's all in emojis, and I'm like, oh yeah, I get a 20% off coupon. Like, oh cool, thanks. But yeah, no, I think a good tagline.
So Luna, I hope that helps you.
I think another time we can talk about if you were an emoji, what would it be? But let's save that for another day.
I'm gonna have to really
profound
like what are the
business.
emojis you use all the time?
Oh,
And Holly and I have talked, and I'm completely different than Holly. So if any of us has communicated with us again, well, let's save that. But I think what emojis do you use, and or which one embodies you as a person?
And for our listeners, just so you know, we're also going to be starting to do this as a Facebook Live as we push forward on this podcast. So if you care to see any of our expressions and general absurdity that goes on here, you will get to see it firsthand.
And with that, also don't forget to follow us on GenR8 Marketing Facebook, at GenR8 Lincoln on Instagram and Twitter, and as well as you can follow us all on our personal pages as well, because I live for followers in this day and age. That is how I know
the voice of the millennial.
My word,
You're an influencer.
my word. Oh, I am not even. Actually, I am not even close to an influencer. But someday,
just might happen.
it might just happen.
Because of this podcast.
Of difficulty in spelling our name, it is GenR8 Marketing.
Yeah.
Yes.
We had somebody requested as generate as in like a generator. No. So GenR8 Marketing. If you just search that, you can find everything you need. But yes.
Thanks
you
for
will
listening.
be an amazing influencer, Deidre, someday. I know it.
I am already an influencer.
Well,
Look
true.
at me.
You just
All right.
influenced Luna today.
Thank
Drop the
you,
mic.
everybody. Peace out.
Don't forget to spay and neuter your pets.